Uh, all right, welcome everybody. Hold on, y'all. Sorry about that. I'm Dr. Yasapu from Zion Law School. Welcome to the free astrotheology course. All right. So our textbook is The Gospel and the Zodiac, The Secret Truth About JC the Christ Figure. The author is Bill Darrell-El. The link to the free PDF is in the description area of the video, along with links to my classes, online class that I teach every Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is called 506 The Curses course. So the link is there. If y'all want to come check that out, you can come check out a couple classes for free. Everybody's invited. And then links to my online streaming class, 101 Ancient Ibaryath. It's a subscription class. It's very affordable. And so the link is there, and links to many of the books that I've written on Ancient Ibaryath are in the description area of the video. So let's get into it. We're still on the table. Page 20, actually we're on page 23. We're dealing with Aquarius, all right? So the main incidents for Aquarius, the apocalyptic transformation. So if my memory serves me correctly, this has to do with what they call in religion the transfiguration, or at least the religion that I used to be in. All right, so the next main incident is progress, and then the man carrying the water jar. So everybody should have an idea who that is, right? The zodiacal keywords, of course, the water bearer, right? So this is Aquarius, and then future hopes, cosmopolitan ideas, and anarchy. So every time I talk about Aquarius, I always recommend everyone to look up the meaning of anarchy, especially the etymological meaning of anarchy. Ooh, these mosquitoes are too much in this place. My goodness. Wow. So they have a lot of water flowing here. So it's breeding a lot of mosquitoes. So let's get into it. All right, so Aquarius. So we're going to start on page, where do I want to start? The subheading is Aquarius and Saturn. So the chapter for Aquarius begins on page 189. All right, so let's start on page 191. All right, 191. Well, we covered this last week, but I want to draw your attention. Some of you in the audience may not like when I bring up the astrology principles or the zodiac principles and concepts. You may not like when I talk about the Hermetic laws, but I can assure you that as you increase your knowledge and understanding about the so-called Old Testament and the New Testament, as you increase your knowledge of it, not religious doctrine, but your knowledge, meaning that they are not religious books, they have been remixed or edited into a form that's on the surface religious. Once you understand through knowledge, and that comes through an understanding of Ancient Ibaryath, understanding of linguistics and etymology. When you have that understanding, you'll very quickly realize that the so-called Old Testament, or let's just say the Bible itself, is in fact a book of law, a book of nature, a book about nature, law. All right? So when I go into the zodiacal principles, for example, the solstices, the equinoxes, and then the Hermetic principles, I'm teaching you very, very advanced or high-level information that most people are completely unaware of. So if you were familiar with it, you would appreciate what I'm doing. So if you are uncomfortable with it, or for whatever your reason is, just be patient. Be patient. And I can assure you, I can absolutely assure you that you will be most grateful and thankful that you got this education by watching these videos. All right? And you're not going to get this anywhere else, because if you would, you already have a knowledge of it. But this information is hidden information. It is not for the masses to know. All right? It is not for the masses to know. So sit back and relax and enjoy the ride. All right. You didn't pay, you're not paying anything for it, which makes it a plus if you can appreciate that. Right? If you can appreciate that. Okay? A lot of people think that if you didn't pay for it, it has no value, or it has a low value. But you didn't pay for your eyesight. You didn't pay for your sense of smell, hearing, taste, touch. You didn't pay for your loved ones. All that came to you free at birth. Right? This information that I'm sharing with you all comes free at birth, but you've been denied it. All right? So here we go. I want to draw on the Hermetic laws as we open up, specifically the law of polarity, which, stated differently, the law of polarity would be the law of opposites. All right? So polarity would be the solstices. Okay? The summer and winter solstice. Opposites, right? Summer, opposite of summer is winter. Everybody see that? Also the equinoctial points. Opposite of spring is what? Fall. Okay, so we're dealing with opposites, therefore we're dealing with the Hermetic law of polarity. Clear? All right. So let's deal with this. So we're on Aquarius, page 191. It says here that modern delineation of the Aquarian type. So in other words, modern astrologies gave Aquarius some new characteristics. All right? Some new characteristics. So I'm not going to go, well, I guess I need to go through the old characteristics. So the characteristics of Aquarius, let me go back here, hold on. Let me give you the page number. Give me 1 second, y'all. Y'all remember Aquarius is toxic, right? Why? Because it's wintry. Aquarius is wintry. It's going to be in February. No, January. So Aquarius is coming after Capricorn. Capricorn is in winter, right? So February is very cold, it's very dark. So you can associate cold, freezing cold personality characteristics and darkness with the personality type of Aquarius. Y'all see that? Coming straight out of nature. All right, coming straight out of nature. So with that said, I'm not going to say anything more about that, because it should be clear. You think about any characteristic or personality trait where people are cold-hearted, uncaring, treacherous, right? Dark, evil, wicked, people who trick you. These type of personality characteristics. All right. So modern astrologers gave Aquarius some new personality characteristics. Now here's where the law of opposites or polarity comes in. I want y'all to notice it. Starting right at the bottom of the page, where it says some sentiments, about halfway down. Some sentiments are echoed, talking about sentiments dealing with Aquarius, are echoed in more modern. Key word, modern delineations of the Aquarian type. Now here's a quote from this guy named Charles Carter from 1925. This is what he says. There is nearly always much kindness, sympathy, and refinement. Now, kindness, sympathy, and refinement, are these wintry, dark characteristics, or are these characteristics that you would find in the light or an enlightened person? The summer solstice, right? Remember? Law of polarity. Summer solstice versus winter solstice. Y'all get it? So, kindness is light. That's higher self behavior. Sympathy is light or enlightenment. Right? So light, enlightenment, this is higher self behavior or Christ behavior. And refinement, also Christ behavior. Y'all see that? Together with an intense love. Love is higher self, Christ-like behavior. For the feeling of kinship. Kinship is higher self, Christ-like behavior. Okay, but then they said with a wild nature. Y'all got that? So kindness, sympathy, and refinement together with intense love. Hold on, y'all. Let the traffic go by. With an intense love for the feeling of kinship. Your kinfolk, right? For the feeling of kinship with wild nature. So is wild nature enlightenment Christ-like? Absolutely not. Wild nature, wild animals are wild. Animals have a wild nature. Men and women are civilized. So do you all see the opposites? Y'all see that? See the opposites? But what they're trying to tell you is that Aquarius, the wintry, dark, and evil characteristics of Aquarius, according to modern astrologers, also have enlightened or enlightenment type of behavior. So y'all see the remix here? Does everybody see that? Okay. So they're mixing Aquarius, like I'm talking about the extremes, right? So summer solstice and winter solstice, okay, in December. In January. Okay, so we're still in the deep, cold, dark part of winter. But they're mixing summer solstice personality traits in with Aquarius. Why would they do that? Because they want to make Aquarius more attractive, right? They want to make it more appealing, soften it up. But when you look at the law of polarity, you should understand that these are extreme opposite ends of the same line. Same nature, but different in degree. So you cannot do that. Y'all see it? Doesn't work that way. You either move up into honor, for example, love, or kindness, whatever, or you move down and be at the extreme, dark and evil and cold. But you're not going to be dark, evil, and cold, and loving, kind, and caring at the same time. It doesn't work like that. So y'all see how we can use these principles, the Hermetic laws, the astrological principles. Y'all see that? To make sense out of what we're reading here. Okay, so let's continue. There is generally artistic ability. So Aquarius people they may be artists with pen, pencil, paintbrush, clay, wood, whatever type of artistry, sewing, making clothes. The love of friends is very marked. Y'all see that? And the native is attracted to societies. Why are they using the word native? And the native, y'all know that's a political term, right? That's a political term. And the native is attracted to societies, clubs, associations, groups of people, and movements of all sorts. Easily merging his own personality into causes. Y'all think about that. So in Pisces, the zodiac sign Pisces, the zodiacal age Pisces, it's what? Corporations and individualism. Y'all see? People compete. You're not trying to work with anybody, or you work with someone only to get what you can from them, and then once you get it, you drop them. That's Piscean behavior. All right, or the characteristics that dominated Pisces and Christianity. Remember, Christianity, what? Capricorn. All the solar deities, Capricorn, December 25th. All right? So if y'all don't remember that, you just remember that December 21 and 22, winter time, is cold, dark, evil, wicked things happen in the dark. Y'all learn that in religion. Almost all the religions teach you that. Okay? Pisces, the two fish going in opposite directions. Two fish going in opposite directions. So you can't work, right? It's always confusion, right? You got two pilots going in the opposite direction, Pisces. Capricorn corporations. All right? That's Christianity. Duplicity. All right? Duplicity corporations. But in Aquarius, these corporations are being torn down. They're being dismantled. So much so that the pressure just to live, the pressure just to eat, have a roof over your head, to stay warm, is so great that it's going to force people to stop being extremely individualistic, only out for, I got mine, you get yours, only out for themselves. They're going to be forced to work with other people or perish. Y'all see the point? The only way you're going to survive is to be able and willing to work with other people, to share. Stop thinking about yourself all the time and start thinking about how you can help other people. Not because you want to, but because the conditions in the world require it, just for survival. Y'all see the point here? So that's going to cause a lot of people to perish. Because a lot of people, they're just not going to be willing to change their mindset. Instead of coming together and working together and sharing, they're going to do the lower self behavior. Lie, steal, trick, and try to get over. And that might cost them their life, either through a violent death or through nature. Nobody want to deal with them, so they're on their own and they don't survive. Okay, so we're talking about the transition from Pisces into Aquarius. And y'all remember, it's the precession of the equinoxes. So the zodiacal age are happening backwards. Okay? The zodiacal age are going backwards. So Pisces, Aquarius, and then after Aquarius, Capricorn, so on and so forth. Okay, so it's the reverse when you're changing the ages. Okay? So don't believe the remix. There's no love in Aquarius. Okay? There's no great feeling of kinship in Aquarius. No, you get a smackdown, okay, to change your thinking. You get the option of life or death. Okay? If you choose not to change your thinking and your behavior, you will perish. Why? Because all of the corporations that you depend on are falling apart. They're being dismantled. Okay? So in other words, you don't have your SSI check anymore. You don't got your 401k anymore. You don't have your Social Security anymore. Right? You don't have your health care plan anymore. You don't have your insurance anymore. You don't even have a house anymore. You don't have electricity. Y'all see what I mean? You don't have the medical care, be it machines or medications. Ain't there like it used to be. Maybe it's in short. Or you don't have fertilizer. Like right now, there's a global, I saw on YouTube, I don't know if it's true, but there's supposed to be a 15 or 25% reduction in the supply of fertilizer. So if the farmers around the world don't have fertilizer, what's that going to mean for the availability of foods? Not going to be there. Y'all see what I'm saying? Now, is it going to happen organically, or are the people who are in power going to implode the corporations? Well, we see what's happening right now, right? The people who are in power, they're imploding the corporations all over the world. Right? They're imploding the corporations all over the world. And starting fires. Y'all know what'll happen. Let's say people who took the jab, right? And let's say they have some injuries. Cardiopulmonary injuries, or maybe they have none, but they're asthmatic. Okay, or maybe they have heart disease. They got problems, chronic health problems. Okay. Y'all know that these wildfires can precipitate or cause asthmatic attack, cardiac arrest, arrhythmia. Y'all see that? Yeah, these fires. These fires can cause people to have an episode of whatever it is they got. Maybe they make it to the emergency room, maybe they won't. And now, who's to blame? The wildfire, not the not the thing that they stuck in their arm. Y'all see what I mean? See what I mean? So now they can make an argument that it's not the thing that you stuck in your arm that's causing all of these people to have heart attacks, asthmatic attacks, whatever's happening to them that causes them to die, blood clots. They're going to argue that it was something else. But y'all so far gone in your mind, because these are your gods, that you're either going to believe them or you're going to doubt or just be confused. In either case, they get away with the crime, and you do nothing. You do nothing but sit there like a sitting duck until they do it again, right? Or until they do something else, another natural disaster that's meant to instigate large numbers of people expiring. All right. So think about these wildfires. I've been hearing on YouTube that there's wildfires going on all up in Canada, smoke everywhere, all in the U.S. I don't know because I'm not there. But I do know what that can cause. Okay, and I have enough insight. To understand why they would do that, right? Because now they can finish the job off. Y'all see what I mean? Finish it off. And have something else to blame. Who's to blame? Nature. Wildfires. Y'all see that? All right. But anyway, let's continue. So remember, there's a transition from one zodiacal age into another. There's always a lot of chaos and destruction, followed by rebuilding. Okay, so the beginning is chaos and destruction. All right, that's the point. All right. Let's continue. This easy merging with the group reflects the lack of commitment to a positive or to a possessive individualism. So it's not an easy merging. That's not true. It's going to come through great suffering for the masses of people. They're going to be defeated. They're going to be, let me repeat it, they will be defeated. And through or in their defeat, they're going to make a decision to go with the flow, right? It's better to form a group and try to survive as a group. Y'all see it? This easy merging with the group reflects the lack of commitment to possessive individualism. All right? Which also gives rise to that other Aquarian quality, detachment. So you get beat down so bad, you are so defeated mentally defeated, physically defeated through a beatdown. Stress, worry, no food, cold, hunger, death all around you. Y'all see what I mean? Confusion all around you. You don't know what's happening. All right, your gods are failing you. Or maybe there's even going to be introduction of new gods, right? Because the corporations are going to fall, which means the religious institutions will fall, which means that those deities will also have to fall. How many of y'all can handle that? Probably not many. Because y'all sure do love y'all Jesus and y'all tetragrammaton. Y'all don't want to hear nothing else. And get mad if someone's not talking about, if someone doesn't share the same belief system or doctrines that you do. Y'all know how y'all are. You know how you are. All right? So let's continue. This has led to an association of Aquarius with science, with cool objectivity. Now, y'all know the idea of science to the hybrids. The idea of science to the hybrid is cold and unfeeling. It's the epitome of wintry and darkness. For example, you hear about some of these hybrid physicians in the 1800s who allegedly performed surgeries on denationalized Moorish Americans. People y'all call that they call slaves in the history books. You know, they didn't give them any anesthesia, no pain medications, nothing to deal with the pain. Nothing. And their excuse was that the Moorish woman, the denationalized Moorish woman, does not feel pain at the same level that a hybrid woman feels pain. In other words, you can do the littlest thing to a hybrid woman and she's going to feel pain. So you need to give her a painkiller. All right? But that Moorish woman, she doesn't feel anything. You can do a surgery on her vagina and she's not going to feel it. Y'all see that? Now, where does that come from, y'all? Where does that idea come from? Where does that notion come from? Hello. Conrad. Yes. You can write it. Oh, you? Oh, okay. Yeah. One moment. I don't know. Let me put, I'm doing it. Oh. I don't know what I'm saying. Sorry, y'all. I think she's trying to sell me something that I don't want. But anyway, my point is this. Oh, I remember. So this has to do with some natural law. Has to do with natural law. All right? Has to do with the natural law. There's a notion that let's look at a pig, for example. Y'all can identify the natural law. A pig is said to not feel a lot of pain, right? And as compensation for not feeling a lot of pain, it also doesn't feel that much pleasure, right? It doesn't feel that much pleasure. Or reverse, it doesn't feel that much pleasure. So as compensation for not being able to feel a lot of pleasure, it doesn't feel that much pain. Y'all see that? Which natural law? I just told y'all. Let's say a man or a woman. We can feel great pleasure We can experience pleasure in so many things. But as compensation for all of the many pleasures that we can feel and enjoy, the smell of flowers, the smell of the roses, right? The taste of your favorite food, the pleasure of your favorite music, the pleasure of just the sun. As compensation, we can also feel what? We can feel extreme pain. We can feel extreme pain. All right? So what law is that? All right. I'm not going to say it, but y'all figure it out. I've already said it, and I gave a big hint. But anyway, so they were looking at the Moorish woman as not being able to feel a lot of pain. Therefore, the Moorish woman can't feel a lot of pleasure either. Looking at the Moorish woman as an animal. Y'all see it? As an animal. All right. But anyway, let's continue. We're not going to spend too much time on the zodiacal stuff. I'm going to move into the scripture soon. All right? Oh, boy. Now, here's the interesting part. Here's the interesting part. Now, remember, we're dealing with Aquarius. Wintry, dark February. The ruling planet for Aquarius is Saturn. So they match. Saturn is known as the Punisher. Okay? Saturn is the Punisher. Now let's continue. We're on page 193 now. No, hold on. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm going to skip page 92. Let's move to 93. Saturn. These ideas are reflected in the Saturn rulership of Aquarius. In the last chapter, we noted that Saturn symbolized structure and order, and how this was keeping with its rulership of Capricorn. So Saturn, doesn't that make sense, y'all? Saturn will rule the wintry months. Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius. Y'all see that? These ideas. Now, I didn't go over all of them. Y'all need to go back and read the whole chapter of Aquarius. But these ideas about the characteristics of Aquarius are reflected in the Saturn rulership of Aquarius. Saturn is a punisher. In the last chapter, we noted how Saturn symbolized structure and order. So a corporation, right? They have a hierarchy, right? There's a hierarchy of power and responsibility. Everybody's got roles and responsibilities, duties, etc. Right? Accountability, all of that. But it continues. And how this was in keeping with its rulership of Capricorn. Remember, all solar deities, December 25th, all solar deities are born on December 25th, when the sun is resurrected back to light, meaning there's a full 1 degree shadow cast on the sundial. December 25th, you are in winter, my friend. Hence, hell, the fiery place hell, is actually no fiery place at all. But what? It's in winter, when the sun is at its lowest point in the southern part of space. I'm talking about in its orbit. The lowest point in its orbit in the southern part of space, where it is so cold that it burns. So you've been lied to about hell also. Y'all see that? You put some meat in the freezer, you keep it there too long, what happens? It get freezer burn. You stay out in the wintertime too long, what happens? You get frostbite or freezer burn. Right? Your fingers might fall off. Your toes might fall off. You get severely burned. Corporations, cold, they will burn you. A corporation will use you up and spit you out, and then had a nerve to not want to give you your retirement plan. Or do what they did several decades ago. Instead of you getting a pension, they outsource it. Now you get a 401k plan. And then they market it to you like they did some really wonderful thing for you, but they really effed you. Okay? So this is Saturn. This is Saturn, the Punisher. All right? But Saturn is also the planet of decay and death. Okay, so now y'all should correlate this again with nature. Wintertime is when plant life dies, animals die. What happens when they die? Their bodies decay, right? The nutrients return to the soil. So decay and death. This is Saturn. Okay, these are things that are happening in the winter. All right? Death is not enlightenment. And there is a certain appropriateness in its ruling two signs together. So the author here, what he's saying is that, well, it's very appropriate. It makes sense that Saturn would rule Capricorn and Aquarius. Why does it make sense? Because of the season, because it's wintertime, dark and cold. Y'all got it? Saturn is a punisher. Saturn is also related, punishment would be what? Death and decay. Y'all see it? So if you look at the book of the law, you look at Deuteronomy chapter 28, and you see death and decay, you're automatically going to associate it with what, scholars? Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 through 68. The punisher, Saturn is the punisher. Deuteronomy 15 through 68, these are punishments, of which death plays a big role. Death is a big part, or one of the big punishments, okay, of not following the Most High's instructions, not following the Most High's commandments, which means not following nature, not following natural law. There is a punishment. If you don't believe me, go out and jump off of a 100-foot mountain and see if you go up or down. If you hit the ground, are you likely to survive it, get up and walk? Or are you more likely to expire, end of life? Let's say you survive it. Is your body going to be the same, or are you going to get up and walk? You might be paralyzed. Y'all see the point? So Saturn, punishment, the punisher, death and decay. This would be Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68, the curses. So scholars, make the correlations. Make the correlations. You can also think about this. Y'all remember the verse? I don't remember if it's in Isaiah, one of the prophets, where it says the Most High does evil and good. Yeah, it says the Most High does evil and good. Now y'all see it now? But wait a minute. Wait a minute, how is the Most High doing evil? Thought the Most High was all loving. He doesn't do evil. He doesn't do things, bad things like that. Well, what's happening here? Well, it's evil to you if you're the one who's being punished. Right? Anything that's going to cause you pain, distress, sickness, and death, well, that's evil to you, but that's justice. She's deaf. She's deaf. So I can't understand what she's saying. She's mute too. So everybody see that? See the correlations? How these things work together here? All right. So let's continue. You know, I can't stress the importance of understanding the relationship between the book of the law, actually what it is, a law book, a science book, with law itself, nature itself, the Hermetic principles, and the Zodiac. Understanding how these things are all related, how they're all the same, is very powerful. Very, very powerful. So y'all just hang in there. Hang in here, rock with me, roll with me. If you don't understand, or if it's a little bit confusing, just stick around, because you will be glad that you did. I can assure you that you will be glad that you did. All right? You're not going to get this education anyplace else. All right? Not the way I'm giving it to you. Everything together. All right? Everything together. So let's continue, y'all. It ain't over yet. See, it ain't over yet. Like Janus, it seems to face both ways. Janus, January, the deity, facing frontward and backward, two-face. It seems to face both ways. Capricorn, it represents the building up of structures. What are these structures? Corporate structures. That's why the solar deities are all born on December 25th, when the sun is resurrected. Build up corporations. Y'all see it? Corporations, profit, non-profit, religious corporations. And what else? What else? Corporations, they pretend that you're a corporation. And then they want to make you the surety for the corporation. And all other kind of tricks like that. Y'all see that? Why do they do that? Because a corporation can only be concerned in law. Corporations can only be concerned with matters dealing with other corporations. Y'all see that? They're not on par and cannot be put on par with a natural man or woman. All right? So they make a corporation and then make you think that you're that corporation. All right? So let's continue. Let's continue. In Aquarius, Saturn represents the dissolution of those corporations. So Saturn builds up the corporations from scratch, consolidates power by stealing people's birthrights, right? And then in Aquarius, Saturn destroys those corporations. Y'all see? Dissolves them. This is Saturn. Okay? In modern astrology, not ancient astrology, in modern astrology, this aspect of Aquarius has been appropriated by Uranus. Y'all got that? That's in modern astrology. Uranus is, y'all, the planet of violent disruption. It didn't say peaceful disruption. It said violent disruption. You want to be? You can. She's giving me a lot of attention. All right, y'all. So Uranus is associated with violent disruption, not peaceful disruption, violent disruption. So, in other words, the transition out of Pisces into Aquarius, and the initial phase of Aquarius is going to be both destructive and violent. Both destructive and violent. All right? Destruction as in death for corporations and people. All right? Death, decay, destruction, violent, which is what I talked about at the beginning of this video. Let's continue, okay? See, this applies to your life right now. What should y'all be thinking? We talked about on page 23, let me make the correlation. Okay, so some of y'all might not be getting it. Let me make the correlation. Page 23, Aquarius. Main incidents. The third incident, the man carrying a jar of water. This has to do with the verse when the apostles asked JC, tell us when will these things be, and the signs of the conclusion of this system of things, or the sign of the end of the world. This is what y'all call in religion the last days, right? That would be marked by what? The Great Tribulation. Where society across the globe is destroyed. Corporations are destroyed. People are dying. Y'all see the relationship now? It climaxes in the War of Armageddon. And when that's over, the kingdom of God is supposed to reign on the earth, if that's your doctrine, or the saints get raptured up into the sky, and then the earth is destroyed by fire or nuclear warfare, whatever your doctrine is. All right? What did Christ tell the disciples? We're going to get to that. Christ told the disciples, we go into the house of the man with the jar of water. Well, that's zodiacal language. That's talking about Aquarius. So what am I talking about? Well, it's a gross mistranslation. The Bible translators, the so-called scribes, modern, I won't even say modern, let's scratch that. These people who translated the New Testament and even the Old Testament, of course, right? Remember Jeremiah 8:8. What did they do? They use words to push a doctrine. So tell us, when will these things be? What will be the sign of the end of the world? Y'all see that? The world is not ending. The zodiacal age is ending, which is approximately 2,500 years per zodiacal age. 25,000 divided by 25,900 is a great year, or thereabout, divided by 12. That gives you the number of years in each zodiacal age. So the apostles were saying, hey, when is Pisces going to end? What zodiac sign are we going to after Pisces? That's why the man with the jar of water is so important. All right? So the characteristics of Aquarius and Saturn have been remixed into the Great Tribulation. Y'all see it? See it? Clear? All right. Remixed into the Great Tribulation. All right? All right. So let's continue. Y'all keep rolling with me. All right? So we're talking about Uranus, the planet of violent disruption and radical change. What's the radical change? In Christianity, the radical change is that all the evil people, all the people who doesn't follow the right doctrine, they get wiped out. Or if you're a Hebrew Israelite and you have the Esau doctrine where Esau gets put into bondage, right? Esau becomes the bondmen and women or the slaves of the house of Yasharallah or the Jews, whatever you call it. That's the radical change. Or all the wicked are just killed. And then comes in the kingdom of God with the resurrection. So that's a radical change. No more evil on the earth. Now the earth is full of evil. Okay? So Saturn and Uranus come in. Corporations are destroyed. There's violent destruction of society. All of its corporations and institutions violently destroyed. That would include farming, agriculture, universities, Apple, Amazon, the Postal Service, right? All the nation states, the Catholic Church, all of the religions, everything gets destroyed. All the wicked get destroyed, and Esau goes into bondage. Y'all see it? This is the Great Tribulation and God's kingdom coming on earth. So God's kingdom coming on earth would be what? When you get past the initial part, the initial phase of Aquarius, and now you're in the middle of Aquarius, and things begin to settle down, and then the rebuilding occurs. Y'all see it? Everybody see it? Okay, let's continue. In modern astrology, modern, not ancient, this aspect of Aquarius has been appropriated by Uranus, the planet of violent disruption and radical change, whose existence was unknown to the ancient world. Now, do y'all believe that our ancient ancestors, with all of their achievements, everything that they knew, everything that they built and did, from building great megalithic architectural structures to building whole sciences and philosophies, y'all think that they didn't know about Uranus if it actually existed? Do y'all think that? If it was there, do y'all think they didn't know? How would they have known about Sirius, but yet they didn't know about Uranus? Okay, so we need to work this out, y'all, right? We need to work this out. We need to correct, or let me correct the astrology, meaning we need to get rid of this modern astrology stuff. But first, let's confirm that it's actually modern and not something that they hid or lied about. All right, so we got some work to do on this. Well, why do I say that? Because we have to return to the culture, to the heritage, to the principles. That means what? Way of life and the sciences. that our ancient foremothers and forefathers learned and taught and lived their life by. Y'all know that before the hybrids came in, everybody lived their life according to the stars. Y'all should know that by now. This is when you find a farmer's almanac. That's what that is. That's astrology. That's astrology. It's not magic and devils and demons. It's just there's a time to plant or sow. There's a time to water. There's a time to harvest. There's a time to relax. All of that is based upon the stars. All right? Okay. So let's continue. Okay, so it says Uranus, the planet whose existence was unknown to the ancient world. I don't believe that. If it was there, we knew about it. If it was not there, the modern astrologists made it up. Okay? So if they made it up, we need to find out why they made it up. What are they hiding? Or what are they trying to produce in the mindset? There's got to be a motive. We'd have to discover that, right? Find it out. So let's continue. All right. It says, but whose principle seems to have been associated with Aquarius from the earliest times. Listen to what they just said. They said the principle. Our ancestors didn't know about Uranus, but the principles associated with Uranus was known. Well, there's our answer. There's our answer right there. Right? There's our answer. Let me say it again. Whose existence, talking about Uranus, whose existence was unknown to the ancient world, but whose principle seems to have been associated with Aquarius from the earliest times. Footnote reads, the astronomer William Herschel discovered Uranus in 1781, but there is some evidence to suggest that at certain times and from certain points on the earth, from certain times and from certain points on Earth's surface, it is discernible with the naked eye. Oh, okay. So what he just said here is that in certain times, maybe every 50 years, every 10 years, who knows? There's, or maybe by times he means certain seasons. But the point is, at some times on the earth, you could look in the sky and see Uranus. With your naked eye, that means without a telescope, you could look in the sky and see Uranus. That's very powerful. If you could look in the sky and see Uranus, you have to ask the question, why is it that you cannot see it now? I'm going to come back to that 1 second. So this quote is taken from Reed on page 95. So it may well have been known to the ancient initiates. So they're saying that our ancient foremothers and forefathers may have known about Aquarius, not Aquarius, but about Uranus. Well, let me make a correction here. I'm going to go out on the limb, even though I'm not going out on the limb, right? If it was visible on the earth at any time, our ancient ancestors knew about it. Period. Okay? They cannot be so brilliant and be aware of all these other things, and then they don't know nothing about Uranus that you can see without even a telescope. That's ridiculous when you use your analytical mind. Uh-oh, y'all, I don't know how much y'all heard. I just got a notice that The connection was reconnected. But I'm going to keep going. Wow, it's very loud here. But the point is this. The point is this. It looks like somebody, these modern astrologists in this case, might be stealing, taking credit for something. Right? Taking credit for having discovered Uranus, even though it had already been discovered and described. But they're taking credit for it. And we know that they have a, what? A history of doing that. Right? Taking some science or philosophy and just putting their name on it. Okay? We know they do that. I'm not saying that that's what happened here. I'm saying let's think about it. I want you to think about it and to be aware of it. All right? Okay. All right. Let's continue. There was something I wanted to come back to. I don't remember what it was. Oh, well. It'll come back to them. Oh, the reconfiguration. If you could see Uranus without a telescope, you just look up in the sky and you see it. Why don't you see it now? Well, it has to be due to a reconfiguration of the planets, or even the stars altogether. All right? A reconfiguration of the planets or the stars altogether. Now, maybe last year in my Saturday, I still teach this class, y'all, the 506, the Curses course, where I break down every word in Deuteronomy chapter 28. All right, every word, break it down. Not by doctrine, not that way. We do it scientifically, using linguistics and etymology, grammar rules, philology. Okay? Maybe it wasn't it, maybe 6 months ago, I don't remember. But we had a discussion about the ecliptic. All right, y'all, I lost the connection. Let me keep going. So, ecliptic, which is the, the vernal equinox, right? The sun is passing over. So this would be the Jewish holiday Passover. The sun is approaching from the south. It says 0 degrees. Right at the equator. This is the vernal equinox, somewhere around March 21, March 19, 2021. It's every year. And then the sun passes over the 0 degree mark, which is the Earth's equator. This is the Passover. Okay? This is the Passover, or this is also in Christianity, Easter. All right? And then angle, and it's going to cross below the celestial equator. The angle between the celestial equator and the angle of the sun in its orbit, again, in modern astrology, is 23.5 degrees. Okay, this angle here. Y'all see it? So this would be Christ being crucified. In other words, the sun is crossing. The sun is crossing the equator, the celestial equator. Everybody see that? Now, at 0 degrees, at the equinoctial points, there's 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of night. So equal number of daylight hours, equal numbers of nighttime hours. That's where the concept of justice and equity comes from. But here's my point. What if the sun originally was at 0 degrees? And there was always 12 hours a day and 12 hours of night. Y'all see that? Always, throughout the Earth's whole orbit is at 0 degrees. And then some cataclysmic event happens. Y'all just listen. Just I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm just saying think. some cataclysmic event happened, which threw the orbit of the sun off to 23.5 degrees. All right? Which would mean now you have 4 seasons in North America, and wet and dry season all over the world, and in the other parts on the other continents, right? So in other words, that's what's responsible for the 4 seasons. Y'all see? And now there is inequity because different times of the year there's different number of daylight hours than there are nighttime hours. Hence, inequity, injustice. Y'all see it? Is that clear? All having to do with nature. All coming from nature. And that would explain why you can't see your Uranus anymore or Saturn anymore. Because the heavenly bodies have been reconfigured. Y'all see it? Which would also explain why the religions are based upon astrology. Clear? Is that clear? Why there's a constant battle between light and darkness, good and bad, Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, heroes and devils, or villains, heroes and villains. Y'all see it? All of it coming out of nature. Okay, so let's continue. The tension between structure and anarchy. Now, I've asked everyone to go look up the meaning of anarchy, including its etymological meaning. The tension between structure, that's strong corporations, and anarchy. So y'all, you should, I hope it's clear that we're dealing with 2 opposites, right? The tension between structure and anarchy, which Aquarius symbolizes, can be detected in the work of Aquarian writers. So scholars, this is a good point to bring your attention to some funny stuff that this and many other authors do, particularly religious authors. They just played a big game, a big mind game on you. A huge mind game on you. Most of y'all are thinking the tension between structure and anarchy means what most people would think. Structure and then things falling apart. Structure and anarchy. But guess what? That's not what this means. Go look up the definition of anarchy and the etymological meaning of anarchy. All right, so you've just been played. All right, you've been played. How did they play you? How did they play you? Through the pen, your ignorance. How? Connotative linguistics. All you know is connotative linguistics and religion. I'm not talking about just church. I'm talking about that fake science that you learn in the university too. All right? So you just got played. But I'm going to leave it up to you to search it for yourself so you can see for yourself how you just got played. All right? So let's continue. So these Aquarian writers, who often seem to be breaking the stylistic conventions. Okay, so they're talking about, he's hinting at it right now, writing style. Conventions of writing styles. Okay, in other words, the accepted standard way of writing. So I'm going to skip this, y'all. Hold on. I'm going to skip that part. I'll let y'all deal with that. Hold on. Okay, let's move to the next subheading. Spiritual lessons of Aquarius. How long we've been going? We've been going for a minute. Let me check my battery. Okay. I got to bounce in a minute. The spiritual, you know what? Let's stop here. Hold on, let me see. Let me see how much we got. We ain't got that much. But I can't finish it. It's too much to try to finish in this video. And I don't have enough battery power. Alright, y'all. So we're going to stop here and pick up at the spiritual lessons of Aquarius on page 195. All right. Hold on. Oh boy. Yeah, we're gonna pick up on page 195. All right, so I see y'all in about 12 to 24 hours from now with another video. Okay? Islam to all the Moors. Make sure y'all get your Ancient Ibaryath books. The links are in the description area of the video. Only buy them on zionlawschool.org. Don't buy them on Amazon. They take too much money. It ain't worth it for me. Okay? So if you want to learn, do it in such a way where I will also benefit as the author. All right? And then also make sure you show up if you want to be able to do what you see me doing. I guess that's the best way I can say it. You want to be independent. You don't need somebody to teach you. You want to learn about linguistics, etymology, grammar rules. You should subscribe to the 101 Ancient Ibaryath class. Come to 506 The Curses course every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, and I will teach you. Okay, you can come for a couple classes for free, and we make it do what it do. All right, so I can lead you, but I can't force you. All right, so man up, stand up.